to the track, the wall, makes the leap, and makes the catch! Amazing catch by Junior!
He got it! A perfect game! 13 strikeouts!
Special moment for Barry Bonds.
Swinging a long drive, deep to right, going, goodbye! He has done it! He has changed the game of the night with one swing of his bats.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Champions Adjust. This is a baseball podcast, sometimes hosted by two baseball coaches, sometimes hosted by three baseball coaches. Today, it's just two baseball coaches. It's me, Aaron Mashvitz, aka Jackson Stone, and my good buddy, my coach, David Bodson.
What's up, everybody? Good to see y'all. If you notice the audio is a little bit different, it's because I'm sitting in a hotel room in Jacksonville, Florida right now. So I'm excited to get this going, and yeah, man, I'm really fired up to be here with you, Aaron Jackson, and catch up a little bit since I haven't seen you it's been 2 full days since I've seen you, man. I miss you. So I'm excited to talk about some of the things we've been seeing the last few days, man. It's been a wild few days in baseball.
Yeah.
A lot of the things that we're going to talk about will have been decided by the time this episode drops. We can make our predictions over the next 3 days.
Yeah. So this is the second edition in our special MLB postseason episodes of the Champions Adjust podcast. Please go listen to episode 1 to hear our initial predictions, which were totally wrong.
Terrible prediction.
We're coming back to the drawing board here. We're trying to figure it back out.
As you know, Aaron, I started a new job today, right? And
yes.
I'm sitting around a lot of baseball people. Now, baseball's a big topic in this office with my new colleagues and hopefully soon to be friends. And that's one thing I told them, because they were asking me about my predictions. I was like, listen, man, I'm on a podcast. I made predictions. They were terrible. I have no idea what I'm talking about. But also, can we agree on something real quick? Can we agree that baseball predictions are one of the hardest sports to predict in? Because, people might say college basketball is you can't do it. Well, if you were only predicting the Final Four, you probably have a pretty decent success rate. Football, same thing. NBA, if LeBron James is on your team, you're probably going to the finals. Baseball, you just have no idea.
No clue. Exactly. And so let's first circle back to I have a couple questions for you, Bods. Let's circle back to our wild card predictions. Okay. Yep. I chose the Cardinals and the Yankees. They were both wrong. You chose both winners. But my question to you is, to the teams that lost, so the Cardinals and the Yankees, where do you see them finishing next year?
Sure. I think a lot of that depends, Aaron, on off-season moves. I think the Yankees, who knows who their manager is going to be, right? Like Aaron Boone, there's a decent chance he's done. Nothing's come out of it yet. So, you never know what Brian Cash and Hal Steinbrenner are saying behind closed doors right now. But to have that talent and for what they gave up to get that talent and not get deep in the playoffs, it's really tough pill to swallow for Yankees fans. And I would imagine Yankees ownership, right? So Yankees are really tough to really predict, right? The Cardinals are a little bit easier to predict. You have a very, very young core. I do believe they're going to go out and get one of Trevor Story or Corey Seager or maybe Javier Baez, probably not, to come in and really solidify their extremely strong infield. And then you have nothing but youth in the outfield, and they're all Gold Glove candidates. And they all hit well, and they're all super fast. Each one's faster than the other. And Jack Flaherty and Dakota Hudson will have a full season of being healthy, hopefully. I think you're gonna shed Carlos Martinez, and you're gonna shed Matt Carpenter, and I see the Cardinals winning the Central Division next year. Not to discount what the Brewers are doing. I think the Brewers are showing right now. We'll get into this in a few. Their weakness, which is their lineup. They had a 3.5 ERA as a team this season. The Brewers did, but we're seeing in the playoffs that they're not scoring runs. So while they're only giving up 3 runs a game, they're scoring 2 or less. And I think that as teams really figure that out, you're going to see the Cardinals come in hot, and they're going to win the division. But you look at the AL East, and the Yankees have nothing but talent, but they gave up a lot of their future to get that talent. And Toronto Blue Jays, they're only going to get better.
Yeah.
In the Boston Red Sox, they're only going to get better. They were considerably better this year than they were supposed to be. They're still developing the talent they got from the Mookie Betts trade. So they're still building their farm system. So I honestly could see the Yankees potentially missing playoffs next year, but I think that the Cardinals will win the division. They're going in, and if you're watching, you can see they're going in 2 very separate directions.
Right.
In my opinion.
Yeah, I follow with that. I think the Cardinals will win more games next year than they won this year. And they won't have to go on a 17-game win streak to get into the wild card. They do have stiff competition with the Reds and the Brewers for sure. But I think overall they'll be the best team coming out of the Central next year. And I'm just going to say that I hope the Yankees don't make the playoffs next year, not because I don't like seeing them in there, but I want to see some fresh teams like the Blue Jays. I'm really interested in seeing them in the playoffs and seeing Mark Roy and Vlad Guerrero Jr. in the playoffs just get after it. So I tend to agree with you on those regards as well. So now let's hop into what's currently happening. Our last episode was recorded last Monday. It dropped on Thursday. Today is October the 11th. It will then drop on this Thursday. So we're giving out some predictions, and some things are going not in the ways that we thought they would. If the Red Sox and the Astros play in the championship series, I'm going to vomit.
Yeah. And in the likelihood of that happening is probably closer to 80-85% right now.
Yeah, because they're both up 2-1.
Well, not only are they both up 2-1, but who the Rays are running out tonight is Colin McHugh, who just on Friday gave up 2 home runs to the Red Sox as a reliever, and now he's starting in the deciding game 4, potentially deciding game 4 against this incredible offense. And I think the knock on the Red Sox that we alluded to last week is that the Red Sox don't have bullpen pitching, and that's a huge knock on them. But if they're scoring 10, 11 runs a game, it really doesn't matter. You don't need that good of pitching if you're scoring 11 runs a game, right?
Right. Their bullpen absolutely came alive in the 13-inning game, though, yesterday.
Oh my God, that was a lot of fun to watch the replay on. I did not stay up for that game. I'm on Eastern Standard Time right now, and first day of a job today. There's no way I was watching 13 innings of baseball, but I'm really impressed by. Yeah, it's the whole who's going to get hot at the right time. The knock on the Red Sox all year, i.e., was the knock on the Red Sox were twofold: bad bullpen and very streaky, right? And in this situation, their bullpen's phenomenal and it's just hot at the right time, right? It's a classic you go, we go situation. Hitting goes, and then the pitching will go. And if both are doing their jobs, then you're going to win a lot of games. And that's where the Red Sox are right now.
Yeah. And I mean, Kiki Hernandez is playing unbelievable baseball.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think about the ground rule double rule? Did you see that replay?
Yeah. I did not see that replay, Aaron. I would love for you to talk about it because I meant to. I'll be completely truthful. I was swamped all day. I walked in the door about 10 minutes before we jumped on here, so I have not had the opportunity to really dive into what happened. I've got several text messages last night about that. So why don't you dive into what happened?
So basically, it's the late innings of the game. Rays, boom, hit a ball to right field.
Yep.
The Red Sox guy is going back. It hits the ground, hits off of his body, and goes over the fence.
It's the ground first.
Hits the ground first, hits off of his body, goes over the fence.
Okay.
They call it a ground rule double. The Rays guy was going to score, but they bring him back because you only get 2 bags on a ground rule double.
Yeah.
And then they never scored after that. The Red Sox bullpen shut it down.
Here's the question, and I already know now. I appreciate you laying that out, and I already know exactly where my head's at. And here's my thoughts before, unless you want to share yours first.
No, go ahead.
It doesn't matter how it happened. The ball went over the fence after hitting the ground, whether it bounced off of his, chin or shoulder or head. It still bounced off the ground and then off whatever. And it wasn't like it was intentional, I assume. If the ball bounces off the ground and he grabs the ball and throws it over the fence, we got something else to talk about, right? Okay. Well, let's really talk about that. But that's not what happened, right? And again, I know it might sound weird to our listeners because I actually have not watched it happening. But when I think that we can all agree, once you've watched enough baseball in your life and you've been around long enough, you have a general idea of what probably happened. And my imagination does not go to the fact that they threw the ball over the fence, right? So yeah, that's a ground rule double. As much as it might suck, as unfortunate as it is, it's the same idea as a pass ball that bounced off an umpire and it saves a run, right?
Mm-hmm.
It sucks. If the umpire wasn't there, a run scores. But the umpire was there. Or, look at football and a quarterback goes for a scramble and there's a screen play, you're looking for a block and then the official gets in the way and knocks you over. And now you got tackled. Well, yeah, it could have been a touchdown, but guess what? You got 5 yards because the official was right there.
Right.
All things fair when it comes to the game and you play the situation. And the situation was the ball bounced off the guy's body.
Yeah. So here, I'm going to read you 3 tweets.
Yes, please.
Based on Jeff Passan's tweet last night.
Yes. What did Jeff Passan tweet?
He said, still searching for the rule that explains the ruling about how a ball that bounces in play, then out of play off a human being is a ground rule double. How the Red Sox get rewarded for that is incredible.
Well, before you go into the tweets, I can't imagine there is a rule, right? There's no real precedence to that happening.
Yeah. And so then underneath, another verified account says, I found this. If a fair ball not in flight is deflected by a fielder, then goes out of play, the award is 2 bases from the time of the pitch. So in this situation, the outfielder should just throw the ball over the fence on accident to prevent a run. is basically some of the replies. I think you might have
You're frozen.
Okay, you're back.
Yeah, you're on frozen. All right. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I'm on Wi-Fi from the hotel, so I don't know how strong it is. It's worked so far, but I missed everything you said after if a ball not in flight.
Oh, okay. So, and then, well, we're good. We're good. People are still with us. Thank you, everyone. Cheers. And then, so under Jeff's tweet, it says that someone found a rule. It said, if a fair ball not in flight is deflected by a fielder and then goes out of play, the award is 2 bases from the time of the pitch. So someone else tweeted, so in this situation, the outfielder should just throw the ball over the fence on accident, quote unquote, to prevent a run.
Boom, loopholes.
Yeah. So that, basically the point of all that is to say the Rays got extraordinarily unlucky with that play.
It sucks. But
for me, that, like, if I'm on the Rays team, obviously I'm devastated. I'm crushed. If I'm the guy who hit it, I'm obviously devastated.
You wish there was a rule, and they might come up with a rule after this season to because they know who's thought about that
to address that, right? But as just a general fan of baseball and watching that game last night, the unpredictability that literally anything can happen and that you can see something you've never seen before in a baseball game every time you watch a baseball game is why I think baseball is so exciting and why I like to address that for people who think that baseball isn't fun. Well, you look at all these things that are so unpredictable that could happen at any moment. And then you get 14 innings of baseball with these amazing pressure-filled moments of guy on second and third, one out. What's going to happen? Oh, the ground rule double. He has to come back. He's not awarded that base. There's so many intricacies and rules and like things that go into play that make it just mad exciting. And so
a ground rule double in general, a ground rule double isn't necessarily a great thing offensively most of the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
The ball bounces over. Now my runner on second only has so much you can do, a runner on first. But if I have Harrison Bader on first and I get a ground rule double, then that's runners on second and third versus the ball just bounces caroms off the wall. I got to run.
Right.
So it's easier to find situations where I'd rather it bounce off the wall than be a ground rule double, right? So, yeah, it sucks, but that's how it went.
Mm-hmm.
It's just how it goes, man, and that's how baseball go.
And now the Red Sox are up 2-1, yep. And with a very depleted pitching rotation and bullpen for the Rays going into
you know what I will say? If you don't like it, then score more runs earlier, man.
Yeah.
Stop leaving guys on base. The Brewers right now are 0 for 19 in 3 games with runners in score. 0 for 16 or 19. I can't remember the number, and runners in scoring position.
Brutal.
You know what? You can't complain about a call when you're having that kind of luck in clutch situations. Yeah. You got to be better. That's like we'll go back to football again, because I know a lot of our listeners probably watch football too. You get upset about a kicker missing a kick. Cool, but you're not talking about the running back fumbling on his own 1 yard line that resulted in 7 points the other way. You don't like the result, you don't be in that situation in the first place. Minimize the mistakes. And if you're tied 3-3 and you get pissed off about a rule, but the 3-run score because of an error, don't make that error. You got a 3-0 game.
And we take a break in this podcast to have a word from our sponsors. Our sponsor for this week's podcast is Champions Adjust. Champions Adjust is a baseball podcast with also beautiful line of merchandise. As you can see by our model, David Bodson, he has on the white signature Champions Adjust shirt and the signature Champions Adjust trucker hat. This episode is brought to you by champsadjust.com. champsadjust.com.
champsadjust.com.
Okay, cool. So yeah, that was a great word from our sponsor.
Where did we find that guy? I love his voice.
God, I mean that merchandise you have is beautiful. I'm glad we got that sponsorship.
It's so comfortable too. You were so right, and I don't feel like my entire back is crinkling anymore.
Hey man, a lot of people bought those other ones.
You know what? It's great, but I love this.
Yeah, those are we upgraded. We're doing good now. We got a website. So I mean, come on,
it's amazing.
All right, so let's roll into now into the Astros and the White Sox.
Yeah.
I mean, the White Sox offense finally came alive yesterday.
Yes.
But I do believe that the Astros are still going to win this series, even though I initially picked the White Sox, which I would love to have the White Sox in the championship series, but I believe the Astros are going to take this one.
I would say that the White Sox hitting wasn't terrible in game 2 either. It's just the Astros hitting was better. They scored 5 runs in the 7th or the 5 runs in the 6th. I was watching sparingly that night because I was packing. But ultimately, the Astros are just a better team. They are. And again, their weakness is their bullpen, but they haven't really had to rely on it too much yet. I do believe that their bullpen will keep them from winning the World Series. But if they're playing the Red Sox, which there's a good chance they will be, both teams have bad bullpens, so it'll come down to who hits the ball better. They're both good, but it'll be a fun series to watch, and that's what we end up with. I do like the White Sox tomorrow. The rescheduled game at 2 p.m. tomorrow. They will be starting Rodon. Who is he healthy? We're going to find out. It's Lance McCullers versus Rodon, and I think that it's going to be a high scoring game as such. And I'm curious to see what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Also, can we talk about what happened today when Ryan Zapera, relief pitcher for the White Sox, came out and said he thinks that the Astros are cheating again? And Dusty Baker, in response, says he can say what he wants. I had no idea who he was until we played this series against him.
Oh, sheesh.
What a mic drop from a Hall of Fame manager to say that about a relief pitcher who should not have said that. You're down 2-1. You just sound sour now, man.
Yeah, there's no need for that. You just gotta keep playing ball and see where that takes you.
Agreed. Was not a fan of that comment, and I adore Dusty Baker's response.
The legend Dusty Baker. Okay, so you have the Astros and the Red Sox playing in the championship series now.
That's exactly what I have.
Yeah, I'm still gonna go Rays. I think the Rays come back, and I think they face the Astros in the championship series. And I'm sticking with the Rays making it to the World Series. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but I believe.
Probably, if the Rays win tonight, they probably win in 2 days. Probably, right? Because they'll go back to Tampa, and we all know how raucous and great those fans are in Tampa. That was a joke because they can't get fans to go to the World Series games, which is why they're going to move to Montreal eventually. But they're at Fenway tonight, man, and they're going up against a guy who has already gotten beaten up a bit by them. And I just don't see a situation where the Red Sox lose tonight. Well, we'll find out.
We'll find out.
Tune in. Rodriguez, it's going to happen in 30 minutes, actually. That game starts. 31 minutes, that game starts. And I'll be sitting at a bar down the street by myself watching.
Awesome. All right, now we're going to move over to the National League. The Braves today took a 2-1 lead on the Brewers. What do we think about that?
It's impressive. It is just so impressive. Today they go 5 strong behind Anderson. 5 strong, 3 hits, 6 strikeouts. And then with runners on first and second and 1 out, they pull that pitcher and pinch hit Jock Peterson. Now, if that doesn't go well, now you're going to your bullpen for a guy who just went 5 strong on 84 pitches, which is, it's a ballsy move. Jock Peterson then proceeded to hit like a 423-foot straightaway dead center home run to take a 3-0 lead that stayed the same. And when you combine that lineup, which is just a phenomenal lineup with all the trade pieces they put together after losing Acuna and Ozuna, both of whom will be back next year, it's really impressive to see that Charlie Morton with 8 strikeouts, right? And then you have, they're just pitching well, and their bullpen's phenomenal, and their starters are just going off and going hard on it. And I'm rooting for the Braves right now. Yeah, my World Series champion pick is the Brewers, but as alluded to earlier, they've been exposed. They're not hitting. I think game 2. They had a tying run on first or second each of the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings, and they didn't score a run during that time. So that says a lot about the Brewers, and I'm changing my allegiances. And Sander Bryan, I got his back. That's my new team. I'm rooting for the Braves.
Wow. Okay. Well, shout out to Sander Bryan. Couldn't make it again this week, but hopefully we'll have him back soon. But his pick is the Braves through and through. That guy loves the Braves. He's been a fan for a long time. So shout out to them for going up 2-1. So you're taking them to make it to the championship series. I would like to see that. My original pick was the Brewers, but the Braves are playing unbelievable baseball, and they have the advantage right now. So I'll go with that too, considering our friend and co-host Sander Bryan is a Braves fan.
Yes.
And then we move on to the last series. Another very intense series. We got the Dodgers and the Giants, the 2 best records in baseball, going head to head. California teams, North Cal versus SoCal. I mean, they're just getting after it. The series is tied 1-1. Big game tonight. Who you got, Bods?
Tonight I have Scherzer, because you can't go against Scherzer. No, I don't think he's going to be as sharp, but also the Giants are starting. I knew this, and the name slipped my head. They are starting, as my slow internet works, it's Magic Wood. So they're starting Alex Wood, who's had a sort of a good year, 10-4 with a 3.83 ERA with 152 strikeouts, a WHIP of 1.18. It's just, it's a strong year.
Right.
But Max Scherzer again, the Dodgers are 11-0 with Scherzer on the mound since he went over to the Dodgers, right? And it's in LA. Those fans are excited to get the Dodgers back in town. And I think you're going to see a power surge, and I think this is going to be a 3-4 run differential ball game tonight. And the Dodgers will take a 2-1 lead. And I think with a 2-1 lead, I think they win one of the next two games. And I think it's telling that Gausman got knocked around pretty hard yesterday after a phenomenal year. There's nerves in there, and I think that, again, talk about teams getting exposed. I think the Dodgers are just too powerful to lose 3 games out of 5.
So you got Dodgers Braves going to the next round.
I have Dodgers Braves going to the next round in games that will consistently have 20 runs across both teams.
Okay, well, I'm sticking with my Giants, my team,
As you should,
my squad, my boys. I think Alex Wood goes head to head with Scherzer tonight.
Okay.
And I think the bullpens decide this game late. There's, Scherzer might throw 6 or 7. I think Wood probably go 5 or 6, and the bullpens will decide it. Chris Bryant, Buster Posey carrying the squad here. Giants are going to take this one and take the series. Probably in all 5 games will be needed to play for this series. But the Giants are going to move on, play the Braves. And I'm sticking with it. Giants versus Rays World Series is still what I got. I got to be held accountable for my picks, and I'm sticking with it. So that's what I got.
Changing everything on my end. I've got Astros, Dodgers, man. And
That's solid.
I got the viewing rates plummeting because of it.
Yeah, 100%.
Nobody wants to see that.
No.
I think that's what's going to happen. And I don't know yet who I have winning that matchup if it happens. But I'll do some pondering on it and get back to you next week.
Yeah. Okay. Any other thoughts, comments, questions, things you want to talk about on this special edition of MLB Postseason Baseball from the boys at Champions Adjust?
Have we talked about the merchandise and the sponsorships?
That's a lovely idea.
I love it. No, I think that covers it, man. I think that the big takeaway, as usual, is there's no predicting Major League Baseball. You don't know at all what's going to happen. And as good as the Braves have been, if they finish out the series, they could still get no hit all 4 games next series because it's all different. I mean, right. I'm not saying it will, obviously, but it's within the realm of possibility.
The possibilities are endless and unpredictable, and that's what makes it amazing and exciting.
You never know when runners are on first and second and a ball bounces off somebody after hitting the ground and it becomes a ground rule double. You just don't know, man.
You just don't know. But yeah, I'm excited to watch tonight. I'm going to watch some games. Definitely going to watch the Giants and Dodgers.
You want to FaceTime and just watch the whole games together?
I mean, if you'd like to, but I don't have an iPhone, so I can't actually FaceTime.
Sure. Video chat.
We can do WhatsApp for sure.
Well, great. Actually, I have deleted my WhatsApp, but I would download it again for you, man.
Thanks, babe. But that's it. I thank you for listening to our special edition episodes. We'll be back next Thursday. We record on Mondays. We drop on Thursdays. We give our thoughts, feelings, comments, questions, concerns about MLB postseason baseball. Mostly we give our predictions, somewhat of our insights, as we are baseball coaches and former baseball players. So thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. Share this with a friend, a coach, a colleague, a peer, and head over to champsadjust.com. Grab your merchandise, listen to season 1, and we'll see you next week. Cheers.